The lamp over the alley sputtered like a tired throat, casting a jaundiced light over the slick puddles and overflowing bins. Exhaustion clung to Sarah like a damp cloth as she fumbled with her keys, eager for the sanctuary of her apartment. Work had been relentless, and all she craved was the oblivion of sleep. A text message from her boyfriend lit up her phone screen, intruding on her thoughts of sleep. He always had impeccable timing, as if he wanted to be the last thought in her head before the day ended. "Can I see you tonight?" he asked. She declined, exhaustion pulling at her like gravity. A simple, "Okay, good night," appeared on the screen, and she finally unlocked the building door. The stairwell smelled of old paint and cheap lemon cleaner, a familiar comfort. The shower washed away the grit and the fluorescent heat of the day, but the weariness remained deep in her bones. As she toweled her hair dry, she considered sleep as just another set of minutes to endure. Just as she was about to slip into sleep, her phone buzzed again. The message chilled her more than the cool air in the room. "Whatever happens, don't let me in." The message sat on the screen, heavy as a dropped coin. She read it twice, then aloud, as if saying it would make it real. "Whatever happens? Why would he?" Panic clawed at her throat. She tried calling him 3 times. Voicemail. The number was off. The flat line of unanswered calls made the hairs on her arms stand on end. Something was terribly wrong. A bell rang downstairs. Her stomach lurched, a knot tightening with each echoing chime. She hadn't been expecting anyone. She usually opened the door without a second thought, knowing every creak and dent of the hallway, but the words on her screen clung to her, a chilling premonition. "Who is it?" she called out, her voice trembling, despite her best efforts to remain calm. Silence answered, thick and unsettling, like the antiseptic in the laundromat. A voice, "Yes, let me in." It wasn't his voice. It was low and guttural, sending a shiver down her spine. She pressed herself against the door and peered through the peephole. For a moment, she saw only darkness. Then, a face leaned in. He was too close. His breath fogged the glass. The features, familiar, horrible, filled the little circle, his jaw, the mole near his lip, the half-moon scar from that bike accident 2 years back. Her knees threatened to buckle. Everything about the sight should have been comfort. It wasn't. He was too still. He had the wrong tilt, like a photograph propped up and animated. "If you lean that close, I can't make you out," she said, the words brittle and strained. She was trying to sound calm, but her voice betrayed her fear. "It's me," the voice said again. Low, hungerless. The syllables slid together, devoid of warmth or recognition. "Let me in." The words were a command, not a plea, devoid of any emotion that Sarah recognized. Her thumb found the emergency number. She spoke into the phone with the professional. calm urgency of a stranger. Someone at the door, suspicious circumstances. "Please stay where you are," the dispatcher said, "and we will send officers," but staying felt impossible. Every instinct screamed at her to flee. She didn't want to stay. She wanted him inside, to reprimand him for the scare, then curl up and fall asleep, forgiven and small. She wanted the absurd domestic resolution that makes nightmares less sharp. Instead, she waited. She imagined the police's blue strobe lights painting the hallway, imagined the crack of authority that would break whatever line of wrongness blurred the glass. From the other side of the door. "It's me," the voice said, slower this time. "Let me in." The words were devoid of life, a mere imitation. She shouted both to the stranger and to the emptiness, "I'm calling the cops!" The words came out defiant and tiny, swallowed by the thick silence. Time oozed. The hallway pressed against the door like a living thing. She could hear nothing but the scrape of something against tile, a soft thud that might have been a footfall or a shifted bag. Her phone was warm against her palm. She imagined the dispatcher, the radio crackle, the boots on the stairs. The ringing in one ear was not the phone. It was the sound of her own breath, fast and uneven. Finally, two long voices below. A key turned, a uniform spoke, firm, telling her to step away from the door, to let them handle it. She should have listened. The siren cut through the night with a thin, keening blade. For a second, she felt safe enough to breathe. Then she saw him. He lay on the landing between the threshold and the stairwell, impossibly still. At first, she thought it was the rest of his body. Then something collapsed inside her like a thrown stone. The head was there, as if someone had set it down to rest, hair slick with something that wasn't water. The face she knew was cut off from the world it had belonged to, eyes open and staring at a ceiling that had no meaning. Her mouth formed a sound that was gone before it left. A pool of dark had bled around the head, a sinister ink. Beside it, letters scrawled ragged and uneven, as if written in a hurry with a hand that knew too much about hurt. "Shame. I was so close."